Hey everyone, what's happening? Lex back today for a very special episode. So what I did was I contacted Ryan Lighton, who is the community manager for Brawl Stars. Now if you saw the previous Brawl Talk video, he was there with Powerbang and Ash in Finland, and they were doing an interview about some sneak peeks and some things coming up in Brawl Stars. Well, I wasn't able to go to Finland, but he did agree to let me submit a bunch of questions to him and he would respond to them. And I got to give him props that he responded to every single one of my questions. They may not have fully answered them, but he did respond to all of them. And I want to give a big thank you to Ryan for allowing me to do this. So without further ado, we're going to hop into this version of Brawl Talk. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show up on screen my questions to Ryan, and then we're going to go over his response to me. First question, I thought I'd get it out of the way right off the top, and that is this. I would be totally remiss if I didn't get this out of the way straight off the top. Is there any news on global/Android release? Is there a release date on the horizon, or is it still unknown at this point? And here is his reply. No news yet. We're really focused on the next update right now and haven't made any decisions regarding global release yet. And as you can see right over here, this is some of my thoughts when I was reading these answers. I was kind of jotting down some ideas, just some really rough ideas, and you know, the game just simply isn't ready. I know that's hard for a lot of Android users and a lot of Apple users as well that don't have the time or want to make a Canadian Apple ID or shift your US one to Canada, download it and whatnot. And so I understand it's frustrating. It's frustrating to hear that the game's not ready, that you can't play it yet. You see people playing it, you're hearing about it, and you're not able to play it. I get it. It's frustrating. I mean, I can't completely empathize with you because I get to play the game, but it's best for the long-term health of the game to wait until it's ready for prime time. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so when I first started playing the game, which was day one on the soft launch, the beta launch, it is so much different of a game back then than it is now. It's vastly better. And while I think if the game went global right now, it would do okay, I think that it is in the best interest of Brawl Stars to keep the beta process going. Don't rush it out. Get everything just right. That way when it launches, you guys are going to have an amazing game at your fingertips. I mean, it's really good right now, but there's still a lot lacking. I mean, that's just the brutal truth, is that there is still a lot lacking from the game. And I think that some more time, some more patience. I know that's easy for me to say and hard for you to hear, but if you're not able to play it right now, just try to be patient. I know it sucks. It sucks, but the game will go global, and when it does, you guys are going to have an amazing game that's really nice and polished and full of content for you to play. So he didn't say when or how far, he just said that they haven't made any decisions regarding it yet, that they're focused on this next update. And speaking of the next update, let's go ahead and move along. And so I asked him, since the last Brawl Talk video, what's been going on with the Brawl Stars team? Have there been any interesting developments or shifts in focus with what the team is working on? His answer was, the next update will have quite a few major changes. Note that, quite a few major changes. And that's our focus right now. I don't have any sneak peeks to give yet, since so many things can change before we're ready. Okay, so here's the deal. Major changes and quite a few major changes. That's the good part right there. The bad part for us right now is that no sneak peeks right now. Does that mean that the update is further away than we were all hoping? Some people were speculating it was going to be really early November, but if there's no sneak peeks, does that mean it's not quite going to be there, or is it just they're not sharing them yet? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but all I know is that what I want to focus on here is that there's going to be quite a few major changes, and we're going to get to a little bit of that here in just a minute, but that's pretty cool. And this was a big rub for me, and I think a lot of other players as well. So one of the things that I've heard from the player base is that the game doesn't have a sense of direction when it comes to the end game. Are there any plans to address that with things such as leagues, competitive play, or some sort of ranking system that will give goals to strive for? His answer was absolutely. So far our focus has been on the core gameplay. We feel pretty good about that right now, and the next update should have some features that will address those. I have really high hopes for competitive play and esports. I can't wait for the next tournament. Okay, a few things. Possible leagues. Could there be some leagues, some sort of in-game rankings or something like that in the in-game? That way, because as it is right now, you get your trophies and you just keep climbing trophies, and then that's pretty much it, right? We want something more to strive for. We want some competitiveness in the end. And he says that the next update should have some features that will address those. So that's a very, very good thing. I'm really excited. I don't know exactly what the details are yet, but I'm really excited for that. So like I said, the next update should have some features that will help address the end game. And then also at the end there, I can't wait for the next tournament. The next tournament, you say? Is there another tournament planned already? If so, hey Ryan, your boy Lex, he wants to play. So I'm excited for that. I don't know what the next tournament is, but the next tournament. We'll see. We'll find out about that. One of the things I really enjoy is the voice acting. Are you working on more voice acting for the brawlers that currently don't have any? And if so, who can we look forward to getting a voice next? I personally, I love the voice acting. I mean, every time I hear El Primo go, El Primo, and I love it. It's great. It's great. And so I'd love to hear more. And this was his response. It's funny. We were just listening to some potential voices for brawlers and laughing at the absurdity of going through 10 plus different voices of saying things like, Hiya! I can see how that would be really weird if you put yourself in their shoes, sitting at a computer, listening to all these voice actors over and over again say the same thing in different cadences and different styles. That'd be pretty funny. But personally, I'm looking forward to some new voices. And hiya. Okay, now if we put on my tinfoil hat just for a second here, hiya, could that possibly mean something? I mean, probably not, but it's fun to speculate. Alright, this one's pretty exciting to me. I've heard some ideas on making brawlers more customizable or even a deeper sense of progression for your brawler. Are there any plans or ideas for this? I've heard people ideas like saying give them a gadget slot that they, they can do special moves with that, because right now it's just you attack and you have your super, and so you juke, you shoot, and you use your super, and that's pretty much it right now. So we want more. We want deeper. And I've heard people say about like gadget slots, being able to rearrange your elixir into different stats so that you could have maybe an El Primo with less health but more attack, and different things like that. There's lots of different possibilities. So his response was, yes, there are. Smiley face. Well, okay. Yeah, there are. You guys, wait. Are there any plans or ideas for this? Yes, there are. Plans? Ideas? I don't know. I don't know when or what. I don't know. But there are plans for making your brawler more customizable and having a deeper sense of progression for your brawlers. And I think that is really awesome. I think it's really needed. Almost every other MOBA that you play, you really have to build your character. And this way we have right now is just you open boxes, you get elixir, you make your brawler better with the elixir. And that's it. We want more, and it looks like they're listening and they're going to give us more. When? What? I don't know, but it's going to happen, or at least they're planning on it. So there's a strategy where you butter somebody up and then you get something back in return. Now, he already told us there was no sneak peeks, at least right now. So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to give up that easy. I want to know some sneak peeks. I want to know what new is coming. So I figured, let's compliment him. Let's butter him up. Let's get some stuff back. So I said, the September update seemed like it was very well received with the new brawlers, Brawl Ball, and the shop overhaul, which I loved it. And there's the buttering up part. So here I hit him with this now. Can you give us a sneak peek or an idea of what's coming up next in the next update and when that is going to be? And his answer was, no sneak peeks yet. I had to try. I had to try, but I haven't given up yet. I haven't given up yet. I'm working for you guys. So I took a lot of questions from you guys. If you guys joined the subreddit or if you joined the Discord for Brawl Stars, I asked in those if you guys would give me some questions to ask Ryan. I didn't specifically say it was for him. I was a little bit vague about it, but I asked if you could ask anything, what would it be? And this kind of encapsulates a lot of stuff that people were asking about. Some features that I've heard a lot of clamor for are things like new skins, band mail, battle logs, viewing of opponents banned at the recap screen, and more shop offers. Anything you can tell us about the possibility or other quality of life features being added? And he said, these are all very important quality of life features. The reason it's taking more time to implement these seemingly obvious things is that we'd really like to utilize our time in beta. A beta isn't meant to be perfect but rough around the edges. We've got all of these features on our to-do list, but we want to mess around with the bigger features before diving into the quality of life additions. Alright, so my takeaway with this is that the team isn't focused on pure polish right now, but rather the whole picture, right? Quality of life changes, they're important, but right now, those are things that are implemented easier later on. Right now, they want to get the whole picture of the game. They want to get the end game, the beginning game, the experience all right there before they just work on the smaller things that they can add and they can take care of. All of these things, they're cool and they're important, but they're not as important as the whole picture of the game. So they're really focusing on the whole picture and not just the smaller quality of life things. So we'll look forward to those as the game progresses a little further on down the line, but right now they're still working on the bigger picture. One of the features that is a must-have to make this game into an esports contender is friendly battles. What are the plans for introducing friendly battles into the game? And I'm really super excited about this because friendly battles, not only would that be a lot of fun, but once friendly battles are in the game, you can actually have a real tournament. Remember he talked about tournament before? Well, you can have real tournaments, you can have competitions. Right now, you can't do that in the game as it is right now. Plus, it's just a lot of fun. You can play against your bandmates and whatnot. But yeah, friendly battles are a must-have for esports. And his response to this was, smile. That's it. All I got was a smile. Oh, what does it mean? I don't know, but we'll find out. All right, another big question that I got from a lot of people is about Mortis. So, since the most recent speed nerf to Mortis, how are his usage and win rates? And do you see a rework or some change in the future for our favorite Gravedigger? Big answer. It's a hot button topic to a lot of people. Okay, so Mortis has turned into a really difficult brawler to balance. We don't want to nerf his main attack too much since that's what makes him really special. But at the same time, that attack makes him dominant in modes like Smash and Grab. His usage and win rates aren't as bad as you'd think if you were just reading Reddit, but if the community strongly feels that he's underpowered, then we take that into account too. Alright, so Mortis, as you know, after his speed nerf, I hardly ever see him anymore, and when I do, I'm not scared of facing Mortis whatsoever. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Mortis was a really cool, unique, special brawler, and taking away that speed and his mobility kind of just sucked the specialness right out of it. And it's kind of like, Mortis, you know? And that's kind of sad to me because Mortis was my very first epic that I got back when he was an epic. And I was so excited for him and I loved playing him, and now it's just like, you know. So what I do like about this is that the Brawl Stars team listens to feedback from the players, right? So that's really awesome to hear, is that the team does value your opinion and they do read what you write and they take all that into account when they're balancing and making some decisions in Brawl Stars. So by all means, keep voicing your opinion. This was one of my own personal questions. I said, when I think of brawlers and their supers, I am heavily drawn to the ones that do something unique for their super abilities like Nita, Crow, and Terra, rather than brawlers that just have an extension of their normal attack like Colt and Shelly. Is this something that you consider and think about as a team, or how is that developed? I was just curious on how they, come up with these supers or how they, design brawlers in general. And his response was this: definitely. We'd like brawlers to feel special, but more importantly, we want them all to have a key place in your arsenal. We do think about all these factors when brainstorming a new brawler and draw a lot of attention from the community's ideas. That's really cool because they listen to you guys' ideas. They read you guys' brawlers' ideas. I've read a lot of really cool ones, and I've read some that are maybe not so good, but they read them. They take you guys' suggestions, and they, maybe one of your ideas will end up being a brawler, so keep those coming as well. But when they're designing brawlers, they want to not just make them cool, but they want the brawlers to fill a hole, something that's not already there. They want something new that has its own place. So they're not going to make another Piper or just basically Piper because it's already there. It's already been done. They want something new, something to fill a role that hasn't been filled already. So that's really neat. So I haven't given up yet. My first try, I just kind of mixed the question within the bigger question. The second one, I tried buttering it up, and I thought the third, maybe I just tried the direct route and tried just straight up ask them short and sweet. Can you give us a sneak peek on new brawlers, game modes, or maps coming out? Just straight to the point. No news yet. I'm still trying, guys. I'm trying for you guys. Let's move along. I got this question from a lot of people. I mean, even a couple of my bandmates, Ogun and Gabzip, they actually asked me this one as well. So I just definitely had to put this one in there. Have you considered making one of each event always up and simply rotating the maps, rather than sometimes how there will be multiples of the same game mode running at the same time? there's a certain point, and it usually seems to fall on the weekends whenever, you know, Shooting Star and Star Gulch are up at the same time, and if you don't want to play Bounty with longer range brawlers, well, sorry. I mean, it's just, that's kind of what's up at the moment. So people have had the idea that if you just have all of the modes available, like I want to play Bounty, or I want to play Heist, or whatever it is, and then there's a map that's open for that, and that's rotating, but you got all your options at the same time. That would be pretty cool, right? Here's the response. We haven't. Mostly because we're thinking longer term, and in the future it will probably won't be possible to have all of the game modes up at the same time. Okay, fair enough. I mean, if you think about it, in the future, let's say there was 6, 7, 8, 10 different game modes, that'd be pretty overwhelming and cluttered to try to choose, you know, keep all of that going at the same time. So, I mean, I get where he's coming from. I still think that there'd be some way to do it, but their response was no, that it's, you know, in the future they don't think it would work out. So this was also one of mine, but also a gripe that I've heard from a lot of people. Currently, the way the matchmaking is set up, you can often get matched up against opponents with significantly higher trophy levels than your team. Is this a product of the small player pool at the moment, or are there plans to further address how your opponents are chosen? I know personally I've been in there with brawlers that have maybe 200, 250 trophies, 300 trophies, and I get matched up against a team across the board. They have 600, 700 trophies per brawler, and I'm like, how did I get matched up against? I mean, all my brawlers are maxed, so don't get me wrong, it's a fair fight. They're just better than me, but it's frustrating sometimes to get matched up against somebody who is clearly better than you at the game, and you feel like I don't really have a chance to win this. I'm going to try, but I probably don't. And the response was, the player pool can definitely be a factor, and the matchmaking should improve both from a larger mass of players and from the matchmaking tweaks that we do along the way. So, plain and simple is that when global hits, things should be better. There'll be a lot more players to draw from. So if I'm sitting there at 300 trophies looking for another match, they should be able to find somebody with roughly 300 trophies to match up against me and my team, and you know, they should be able to work it all out. Hopefully that's going to get better, and I can just imagine that if you add in millions of more players into what we currently have right now, the options are going to be a lot better for the matchmaking system. Let me make my screen a little bit smaller because I was a little bit wordy on this one. This was one of my ideas. Okay, so one of the ideas I thought of was to make dynamic maps, meaning some part of the map changes as the game progresses. For instance, a gulch that slowly fills with water, making it impassable except via a few bridges. This would give a deeper sense of strategy and a more in-depth feel for the map. Is this something that you all have explored or something similar? Alright, so bear with me here. Think about this. Think about like a smash and grab map, and there's this dry gulch that runs through the map, right? It could be straight across the map or winds and maybe intersects in some different places, and you can walk across it in the beginning. Back and forth, no problem, everything's good. As the game slowly progresses, you can see that water starting to fill, and you can still pass it when the water's low, but at some point in the match, you can't pass over it anymore. The only way to get across are a few bridges, a few choke points. And then so that's going to completely change the map from what it is at the beginning to all of a sudden it's something totally different. I thought of this idea when I was thinking of, back in the day I used to play World of Warcraft, and there was a PvP arena where these two towers raised from the ground, and you could get on these stands, on these towers, and they would raise up. And while you're up there, nobody on the ground could hit you, but unless they were up there with you, then you guys could duke it out on the pedestal. While it's up, if nobody was up there, you could use it for kiting and all kinds of stuff. It was a lot of fun, and I thought, what if we could do something similar like that in Brawl Stars? And here was his response. We love this. Definitely have been talks about stuff like this happening. We won't have dynamic maps in the next update, but it is something we want to explore. And I love that, guys. Okay, so you guys can right now start brainstorming of really cool ideas that you could make for these dynamic maps. I know there's one website, brawlstats.io. Right now they have a lot of good stats, and I think that they're working on a map maker, a map editor, where you can create your own map. So you guys might want to bookmark that site right now, because when that comes up, then you'll be able to build your own maps, and the ideas that you could come up with are just endless. A lot of cool stuff, and I know you creative people out there will think of some really good stuff, so I'm really excited how this kind of develops in the future. Alright, Showdown time, right? In the previous Brawl Talk, you mentioned having a true free-for-all game mode. Have there been any developments on this, or is it still something that is being looked at in the future? They were talking about Showdown, and they were talking about the teaming aspect, where it wasn't quite what they envisioned. They thought it was just going to be a real free-for-all, and it kind of has morphed into this, you know, go out there and make a friend or not, and maybe backstab and team or don't, or it's just kind of kind of a Hunger Games issue is what he kind of, used the metaphor. So his answer was not just yet. We've got this on our to-do list, but haven't done a deeper dive yet. So keep teaming in Showdown or not, or just kill everybody, do you. I don't know. But it is going to be in the future. They just haven't gone further into it at the moment. All right, so this is an issue for me. It may not be completely relatable to everybody just because you may not be maxed out like I am. But right now, chips, they don't do me any good. Until new brawlers come or whatnot, chips are completely pointless to me. And in the future, when people are maxed out and there really are no new brawlers for a while, then chips are kind of pointless. So I said, have there been talks or plans for being able to use chips for something other than the brawlers? Once a player is maxed, the chips are rendered useless, perhaps using them to buy skins, etc. His answer was, yep, we are not happy with the chip system and definitely would like to improve it. No news on this yet. So in the future, I think we can look forward to maybe some other skins or different things that you can buy with those chips. Perhaps going back to that customization of your brawlers. I'm not sure, but there is plans. So if you have a gripe about the chip system as it is right now, hold on tight. In the future, there is going to be some changes on that. And wrapping it up, I asked him if there's anything else that you would like to share, and he said, I want to give a huge thank you to the community in Brawl. Everybody's excitement energizes us as a team to keep us super motivated to work our hardest. So we know that they're working as hard as they can to make this game a really big success, and I personally appreciate them. And Ryan, I want to give a special thank you to you right now for coming on virtually on my channel and allowed me to do this interview with you and to share this information with the community. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys like the content, be sure to check out some of my other stuff. I have a lot of gameplay videos. If it's the first time you've been to my channel, thank you and so much for sticking through this whole video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Consider subscribing. If not, that's okay too. I hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. And as always, until next time, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Lex out.